Hello, this is Lucas Palmeira from Imaginando, and I'm back for another DRC tutorials. We didn't make one of these for a long time, but we thought it would be nice to bring it back. So we are doing a request that we had a couple of times ago, and the request was to do the Carpenter Brut soundtrack for Blood Machines intro and theme. So we got a lot of sound, so let's get right into it. Okay, so we have here all our tracks, MIDI tracks, and the patches. We have some sounds, so let's get right into it. We're gonna start with this synth bass, which is actually those almost 3 sounds, but it's only 1. And as you can see, it is huge. Okay? So we're gonna start with the left. I'm gonna put this on center. Bring back the default. Bring back the default patch. Okay, and take the send out. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is drop 1 octave on the first oscillator, raise the second oscillator, and bring it down 2 octaves. Now fine-tune to 1 and 4. Raise the sub-oscillator. Raise 1 octave. And now pre-gain at 9 to 6. Okay, change performance mode from poly to mono. And now to the filter. We want envelope generator 2 at maximum. Modulation of the filter and drop the cutoff to 202. Change the mode of the filter from a low pass 1/4 pole to a low pass 2 pole and raise the resonance to 130. Now we go to the modulation page and raise the keyboard to maximum. This means the higher the note, the higher the cutoff. And finally, we go to the filter and the envelope generator 1, which controls the amplitude, and the only thing we need to do is drop the sustain to 0. Okay, we got our first patch. And now what we're gonna do is, here on our first send, we have all of this. This is a sidechain compressor working on the kick. This is a small compressor, just compressing a tiny bit the sound, just giving it a little bit more of consistency. But important is these 2 high-pass filters, this one with a boost, and these 2 effects. So I'm gonna raise again the send. Now the delay modulator. Nice stereo. 363 time, 283 depth, 153 rate. And this vinyl distortion that gives it a little bit of distortion and grit, which is really nice. Okay. And now what we do to the other 2 is basically copy DRC and paste it here. So I can bring this one to the left. Sorry, not this one. This one is centered. This one to the left. This one is to the right. And you can do that, and they're exactly the same synthesizer, but since this is analog modeling and every note is slightly different, if you do hard panning, you will get a really nice stereo out of it. And then copy again to the last one, which has a little bit of low pass here at 65. I'm gonna solo it. I'm gonna just put this one playing for now. And on this one, the only difference is that the pre-gain is at maximum instead of 926 like the other one, so pre-gain at maximum. And then a reverb with an amount of 265 a decay of 3 to 1, damping of 500, and a modulation of 432. Then the chorus with a rate of 309, depth of 525, and a feedback of 278. So the only difference between the Synth Bass Center and the other two is the chorus, the reverb, and the pre-gain at maximum. So let's continue. All of them with the sends at maximum. So now let's go to the first drone. Okay, bring back the default patch. Drop 1 octave on the first oscillator. Raise oscillator 2, drop 2 octaves. Detune it to 104. Now raise the sub-oscillator. Raise 1 octave on the sub-oscillator. Pre-gain at 889. Now on the filter, we want envelope generator 2 at 500, cutoff at 500, resonance at 0. Now, on the first envelope generator that controls the amplitude, we want attack at 62 and release at 56. On the second envelope generator, we want 0 to 30, 400, and again 100. Now let's go to the reverb and give it 457 amount. Decay of 685. Modulation 3 to 7. Damping 580. Okay? We got first drone. Let's go to the second one, which has this little boost of highs and low shelving of actually almost 9 dBs at 84 dBs, 84 hertz. Bring back default patch. Okay. Sorry about that. So pre-gain at maximum. First oscillator at 852. Drop 1 octave. Do the same to the second one, 852, and drop 2 octaves. 104 on fine tune. Now raise the sub oscillator to maximum and raise 1 octave. Okay. Now envelope generator 2 at 790. Cutoff at 715. Resonance at 178. And finally, let's go to reverb. 457. Amount 685. Damping of 580. And a modulation of 3 to 7. And next chorus. 160 rate. Depth of 420. And a feedback of 0, okay? Next we got our sine sub. Okay. And here on this sub, let's bring back default patch. Drop 1 octave and change it to a sine wave. Raise the pre-gain to 870. I'm gonna change this to mono, plays better. Now, raise the attack to 49, 049. Decay at 395. Sustain at maximum. Release at 068. Envelope generator 2, decay at maximum, 728 on the sustain, and a release of 100. And we got our sub. Let's go now to our ARP. I'm gonna take this equalizer and delay modulator for now. This is just a small compressor. Fast compressor and fast release. And open default patch. And first thing that I'm going to do is master pre-gain at 872. $897, sorry. Like this. Raise second oscillator, which is 1 octave higher. And 124 detune. Raise sub oscillator and raise 1 octave. Now change the filter from a low pass 4-pole to a low pass 2-pole. Envelope generator 2 at 850. Cutoff at 102. Resonance at 118. Now modulation for the filter on the keyboard is 346, the higher 346, the higher the note, the higher the cutoff. And then on the VCA, 210, this means the higher the note, the higher the volume. Now for the first envelope generator controlling the amplitude, we got 062 on the attack. 327 on the decay. 105 on the sustain. Zero release. And on the envelope generator 2, the one that modulates the cutoff of the filter, we want 0, 148. Sustain 333 and a release of 0. Okay, now I can turn on the delay modulator again with 380 time, 180 feedback, 307 depth, and 190 rate. And turn the equalizer again. Finally, we need a reverb of 340 and a decay of 648. So 340, 648. And then modulation 272 and 500. Modulation 272 and damping 500. This one is just more open, but don't worry because I've got all these parameters. These parameters are all filtered, automated, so don't worry about it. The patch is right. So let's go to the next one. See, the same. Okay. So now let's go to our lead. Bring back default patch. Just checking. Bring back default patch. And now raise the first oscillator, the second oscillator, sorry. Drop 1 octave on the second oscillator and fine tune it to 184. Sub-oscillator raise 1 octave and raise the sub-oscillator to 309. Pregain at 698. And ring modulator at 537. Okay. Now let's change the filter to a low pass 2-pole and drop, raise the envelope generator to amount to 630. Drop the cutoff to 312. And resonance at 288. Okay, now for the first envelope generator, we want 778 on the decay. A sustain of 765. And a release of 300. For the second envelope generator, we want 852 on the decay. Sustain of 469. Now for some reverb, amount of 481. Decay of 722. Damping of 500 and a modulation of 358. Finally, let's go to the modulation of the pitch and the LFO. Raise it to 400 and then raise the amount of the LFO to 312. Okay. Finally, we got the strings. That sound like this. Just has this little equalizer boosting a little bit of the highs. Let's bring back the default patch. Okay. And I'm gonna raise the second oscillator to maximum, drop 1 octave, and detune it by 124. Now go to the sub-oscillator, raise 1 octave and change it to a square. Raise the sub to 605. Pregain at 802. Ring modulator at 704. And noise generator at 506. Now, envelope generator on the filter, we want a cutoff of 932. Resonance of 160. And now a modulation on the keyboard of minus 136. This means the higher the note, the lower the cutoff frequency. And on the VCA, minus 593. The higher the note, the lower the volume. And now let's go to the first envelope generator. 173 on the attack. 500 decay, sustain of 800, release of 300. And for the second envelope generator, we want 056. A decay of 230, 400, and release of 100. For the reverb, we want an amount of 6 to 3. Decay of 673. Modulation 247. And 500 decay. And we got everything. So let me just put this ready for us to listen to the whole thing. Just bear with me a little second, please. Okay, everything is ready, so let's now listen. And I'll show you the optimizations here going on the ARP and everything. So let's listen. And that was it. Remember that you have this file on the description below. And this was it, guys. I really hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. Remember, the idea of these tutorials is to give you inspiration to create these sounds and use these sounds on your own composition. So I'm trying to get as close as possible, but sometimes that's just not possible. I'm just using DRC and Ableton and nothing else. But I really hope that you have enjoyed these tutorials. We will be making some of these sporadically, so keep the requests coming. We might just do them. I will say now goodbye. I will ask you to give us a like and subscribe if you really like our content. So for now, I will say goodbye.